local soccer match, which left a player with serious injuries, including a fractured spine. And an earthquake measuring 4.8 has struck WA. The quake was recorded about 100 kilometres east of Perth. Coming up, SEN Sport. Footy performance boss Greg Swan says last touch out of bounds could be on the way to the AFL, where a free kick is paid against the side who last touched the ball before crossing the boundary. Next year's Asia Cup has the Matildas drawn in Group A with the Korean Republic, Iran and the Philippines. And in tennis, Aussies Daria Kasatkina and Maya Joint have posted wins at the Canadian Open.
Join the conversation. Text us on 0499 736 736. Live across Australia on SEN Track. Giddy up with Gareth Hall.
Good morning, 8:04am wherever you are right around the country. This is Giddy Up, all thanks to the team at Bet365. It's never ordinary when it's brought to you by Bet365. Imagine what you can be buying instead. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. Miles Pfitzner with you on this magnificent morning, Wednesday, the 30th of July. Cold morning here in Melbourne, currently 6 degrees with a forecast of 14. And racing at Sandown today, where we are currently on a soft 6 at the moment. Up in Sydney, around 11 degrees at the moment, a forecast of 15. Soft 6 up there as well. Brisbane currently 14 with a forecast of 24. I mean, talk about jealous. Nice and warm up there in Brisbane. We'll talk about the tracks up there in Brisbane a little bit later on. Adelaide currently 7.3 with a forecast of 15. And Perth around 5 degrees with a forecast of 18. Hobart's 4 degrees. Canberra's 5 degrees. And they've got a forecast of 13 and 12 respectively. Hello to you wherever you may be right around the country. A Wednesday midweek racing day and a nice show that Louis has put together for us today. Peter Roble to join us not far away to discuss his horse Hadouken. Also has a runner-up at Doomben today, so looking forward to having a chat with Pete. Lockie Neindorf making his move to Melbourne. He'll join us around about 8:20. He's also riding the favourite in the first here at Sandown, and it's a fascinating race this, Ferravia with against Conscience of Peter Moody and Kath Coleman. So it'll be a fascinating race there. Gavin Bedge, good to join us. We're trying to get hold of Neville Parnham. We'll see if we can get him close enough to 9 o'clock. If not, Paul Sebastiani will tell us all about his trip to Singapore and what happened over there. Can I say soccer? I'm not allowed to. Football, yeah, don't know. Ooh, he's got the death eye there. Bag of tips coming up. Massive edition of Bag of Tips. Mickey Gannon, Dean Watling, Mitch Lewis, Chris Nelson, Peter Anthony, Butch Castles. And I'll read you a stack more. Mitch Lewis's Bet Boost horse yesterday, Mr. Vane, named after a few people in this building. The Mega Boost horse for Bet365 got it done. Then we've got trial time. Matt Morton and Dean Watling to run through all the trials. A couple of trials I want to talk about there also. And then Love It or Leave It to round out the show. Mickey Gannon and Sam Hyland. I'll put a few questions to them. 0499 736 736 to join the conversation. Hey, I've been trying to highlight a couple of things, and one of them is the Darwin Cup. The other one is the Queensland Premiership. We're going to talk to Chris Nelson about that a bit later on. Angela Jones v Emily Lang today up there at Doomben. We're going to have Nick Pinkerton to join us tomorrow, their manager, just after 9 a.m, so that'll be a fascinating chat too. We're highlighting the Darwin Cup. We're trying to run through all the major chances up there for the Darwin Cup. I'll be up there on Saturday. If you are heading up there, and want to catch up over the weekend, let me know. Send me a DM or message the station. More than happy to catch up and have a beer with you. And a man that has, well, essentially, I think is going to be the red-hot favourite for the Darwin Cup. I speak of Peter Roberlin, who joins me on the line. Good morning, Peter.
Hi, Miles. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Mate, congratulations with how you've got Hadouken travelling. It was a great win in the Chief Minister's Cup. Now on to the big one. How is the horse?
Yeah, no, he come through the Chief Minister's win there in really good order, and he's just been ticking over nicely heading into the Darwin Cup on Monday. So everything's on song, and we've had pretty much what I'd have to say is a faultless preparation with him. So, that certainly helps and goes a long way into getting a horse into a race like this.
He's taken out the Darwin Cup before, obviously, beating Wolfburn and Bear Story, and it is the key race you've been lining up to here. Did he maybe exceed your expectations in the Chief Ministers, or that was sort of what you expected from the horse all along?
No, I thought he'd definitely run top three in the Chief Ministers because the horse has been going very well, and he did have the run over 1,300 a couple of weeks prior to it, but he, to be quite honest with you, Miles, he could never be competitive in a 1,300 metre race if he got a head start. So he kind of ran accordingly, and then straight up to the mile, I thought he'd definitely run top three in the Chief Ministers. It was probably he exceeded expectations in the sense I didn't really think he could beat Sinkway Torrey in that race, and that's why I thought he'd run probably second or third, but he just proved how much he did like the dirt, and he done it tough in that race, and he proved that he's on song for the Darwin Cup again. Yeah,
well, he certainly looks it. You read back through the form. The last time he won the Darwin Cup, you went to the 2,000 metre handicap. Jared Todd rode that day where you beat Ziggy Rocks and Star Spangled Baby. Did you think this time maybe the 13, the 16 with the slow build-up might suit him a bit better?
Yeah, look, last year we had to go that way because his rating wasn't high enough to get into the Cup.
Yep.
So therefore he had to win the Buntine, which is a 10 furlong race, and it's an automatic entry into the Darwin Cup. So he had to actually win that race to get into the Darwin Cup. So last year that's what we were having to do. Where this year we were guaranteed a start, so we could just work our own way through it. And I just thought he did have the preparation in Alice Springs, so he got up here quite forward, and I believe the 1,300 into the mile up to the 2,000 metres was ideal for him.
Peter, tell us about the ownership of this horse. Have you got a decent crew rolling up to Darwin to celebrate? Not too many people miss their horses running a Darwin Cup.
Yeah, I think there's probably half a dozen or so of them, all kind of starting to filter into Darwin from, I think, yesterday onwards. So, they're a good crew of owners in him, and the 3 or 4 that turned up last year certainly enjoyed the festivities of Darwin after he won the Cup, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's a bit like that, isn't it? It can get you in all sorts of trouble, that place. Hey,
cannot lie.
Yeah, and it's good fun. I thought I was just going up for the Monday, Pete, but I'm going Saturday, so I've got the couple of day lead up into the Cup, which is nothing but dangerous. Hey,
you need a couple of days warm up.
Yeah, then you acclimatise, as they say.
Yeah.
Hey, you've got another couple of runners on the Monday, Zurata and Stormfront. Now, Stormfront goes around at Darwin today. Are you going to back Stormfront up on the Monday?
Providing he runs well today and comes through the run in good order, he'll back up on Monday. And Zurata, I've also got him nominated for the Palmerston on Saturday. So I'm just going to accept with both races and then decide which way we go with him.
And I can't have you on without talking about Anders Style in race 2 at Doomben today. It looks like you've got a live chance there.
Yeah, he's a really nice 2-year-old we've got in the stable there. He's had a couple of trials, trialled pretty impressively both times. Big raw horse, so I thought drawn barrier 1 was really beneficial for him, as it'll give him the fence to follow. And he certainly is one of the leading contenders in the race today.
Yeah, well, his trials, I went back and had a quick look. The trials look solid and drawing the inside pole and following the Dulux for a while. Looks like it might give him a lovely run. Is he maybe just a little bit above average in your opinion? The market certainly thinks so. When they've opened him up, that they haven't missed him.
Yeah, I think he's well above average at all. So, but he's a big horse and he's still quite raw. So he does lack that race experience, and that's why I thought drawing the barrier one certainly beneficial to him. And providing he handles the races in his stride, which I think he should, he'll prove hard to beat.
Pete, last one on the Darwin Cup. I've been asking everyone, we're trying to promote it as much as we can. It's one of the bucket list items for racing fans in Australia to get up there. Have you had a good look at the rest of the field? It looks reasonably competitive outside your boy.
Yeah, look, it's a competitive race. Wolfburn obviously hit his straps at the right time. He ran second to us in the Darwin Cup last year, so Clarkie will certainly have him screwed down, ready to go. And, I think there's a couple of old handicappers in there that always run well year in, year out. So it's certainly, not one of them sort of races that you go there overly confident, but although we're very confident that he can be winning, it's certainly, it's going to be a solid sort of race all the same.
Peter, appreciate your time this morning, mate. Hopefully I'll bump into you over the weekend. I wish you the best of luck and go get him, mate, back to back.
That we'll give it our best shot, Miles.
Good luck, mate. Peter Roble there, the trainer of Hadouken. And also, keep an eye on this Anders Style in race number 2 at Doomben today. Race 2, number 1, Anders Style. I'll ask Chris Nelson about this horse coming up in a while because, the market didn't miss the horse early. Looks like it has one danger in the race on debut, which is Quick Zoo of Tony Gollins, which jumps from 14. Anders Style jumps from 1. Jag Guthman Chester. And those people that know is if you have a big raw 2-year-old, sometimes being drawn inside and sort of tucked up the fence where they don't really have too much of an option other than to sort of hug the paint and go around. It might be better than Quick Zoo at 3.10 or equal favourite from 14 for Pug and for Team Gollan. Hey, we're going to jump to our first break. On the other side of this, Lockie Neindorf to chat to him about making the move to Melbourne, his Metro Premiership, his second Group 1, and also Ferrivia in the first here for Phillip Stokes. It's a fascinating race this at Sandown, the first. I think you're going to see two horses you're going to see a fair bit of go at it in Ferrivia and Conscience. They are two that you can most definitely put in your book. They go at it in the first race at Sandown today out there on a soft 6. The rest of the tracks will update you right throughout the show, but currently soft 6 Sandown and a soft 6 at Warwick Farm. This is Giddy Up. Miles Pfitzner with you for Gareth Hall, who's sunning himself somewhere in Europe, all thanks to the team at Bet365. It's never ordinary when it's brought to you by Bet365. Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.
Join the conversation. Text us on 0499 736 736. Live across Australia on SEN Track. Giddy up with Gareth Hall.
Wow. This is 20 past 8 and this is National 9 News. Where's that from? Welcome back. Miles Pfitzner filling in for Gareth Hall. All thanks to the team at Bet365. It's never ordinary when it's brought to you by Bet365, and imagine what you could be buying instead. Just running through those tracks as we're trying to pull up Lockie Neindorf. Doomand's currently on a soft 5 rail at 10 metres the entire there at the moment. At Balaclava, heavy 9 there. The rail's at plus 3 metres, the 950 to the winning post, 2 metres the winning post to the 1550 through the remainder. Penetrometer, yeah, that's deep. So expect the heavy deck there in South Australia, and in WA as we head west, Belmont's on a soft 7 rail at 13 metres the entire. They've just had the Miller rain in the last 24 hours. And recapping, if you have missed the tracks, Warwick Farm currently on a soft 6 with not much rain to speak of. Penetrometer at 5.26. And at Sandown, we're at a soft 6. Rails out 11 metres the entire there at Sandown today too, on the hillside, of course. Have we managed to get Lock on the line? We can't get hold of Lockie this morning. 0499 736 736 to join the conversation. Lockie Neindorf to join us very shortly when we can grab him. Gavin Bedgegood. Also got some runners that we're going to chat to Bedgie about, maybe some horses. We had a double there on the weekend. Absolutely flying Bedgie, and a great fella. Still waiting to confirm Neville Parnham if we can get him on closer to top of the hour. But a massive addition to Bag of Tips coming your way, because we've got the superstars, Mick Gannon, Dean Watling, Mitch Lewis, Chris Nelson, Pete Anthonys, absolute rippers. And the way Mitch Lewis has been tipping, our Bet Boost horse yesterday, Mr. Vane, got the chocolates for us. So hopefully, we can find you a winner today. But by far and away, the most fascinating race is certainly race 1 on the card. And that's the race between Ferribia and, of course, Conscience in the first. I'm going to welcome in the man that's returned from his overseas Singaporean trip. And we've got all things to discuss, football and soccer, not just one. I speak of one, Paulo Sebastiani. Hello, mate.
Hello, Milo. Good morning. Good morning to the listeners. Hope you're all well. A bit of a freshen up and ready to rock and roll, mate, into the end of July and start of August.
How's the trip?
Fantastic. Brilliant.
Arsenal, Ajax? You don't say Ajax, do you? Like spray and white?
No. Nothing
No.
like that,
It's
no.
Ajax.
Yes, correct. Arsenal, Newcastle United, AC Milan, and now it's Arsenal Tottenham in Hong Kong. But
Are any of them going any good? Did any of them go any good?
Newcastle are going well. Tottenham, of course, won the Europa League. They've got a new manager now in place of Ange. But it's a lot of fun out there, a lot of fun. I was actually disappointed that I wasn't able to get out to the Singapore races because they're no longer, which is a bit of a shame.
We used to race horses over there, and there was nothing better than you'd be at home all day, you'd have dinner, you'd sort of half think about going to bed and you go, nah, and then you roll to the pub at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night to watch your horse run.
Best.
2 pints, it's like 11:30, you're in the pub on your own. Yeah, it was good. Used to love it.
A lot of fun out there. And these footballers, these soccer players are just...
Rock stars.
It's unbelievable. And it's funny looking back at news headlines here in Australia with regards to Aussie rules and even rugby league for that matter. We're quibbling and squabbling over players getting $1 million a year. There are some a lot of footballers getting close to $1 million Aussie dollars a month. It's insane when you think about it.
The news headlines fascinate me because I was listening to a fair bit of Gary and Tim this morning, and Half on RSN this morning.
Yep.
And the story, they're all talking about this, the footage war, right?
Right.
Because Channel 9 aired some footage and they're not the rights holders. Right. I'm like, this is news? I'm fighting the back. No one gives it. No one cares whether or not you're unhappy that... we're talking about, what about Jack Silvani?
Yeah, exactly.
He's joined, so Curnow wants out, Silvani out.
I think half the club wants out, to be honest. It's incredible. You get away, and getting away for a little freshen up, thinking you're going to get away from Aussie sports and you can focus on something a little different, but it doesn't die down.
I know you love your sport. Did you catch any of the English, Irish, Scottish, Welsh Lions against Australia?
Yes, there was a bit of controversy at the end. Was that right?
Yeah,
Should
in
have
the
been a
ruck.
penalty awarded to Australia. Is that
That
correct?
But Australia shouldn't have lost. From my understanding, Australia shouldn't have lost from where they were.
Yes, but what I found incredible.
But we weren't
was-
even meant to be in it, were we?
No, but the rugby union at the MCG, it's packed out the last handful of times. Look,
it's real white collar, like finance bros will fly in for it sort of stuff. Yeah.
I've
There were
got a
more
pl-
pairs of R.M. Williams boots at the MCG on that game than there normally is. Yeah, at a Melbourne, at a Melbourne game, Melbourne Grand Final.
The charcuterie boards and the cheese platters.
Oh, yeah.
I must profess my ignorance to that, but I didn't realise there was so big of an audience.
Yeah, they're real closet.
They are. They are.
Rugby union fans.
They're
when the Wallabies are flying, they'll wear a Wallabies jumper to work.
Right.
And then the rest of the year, they won't even...
I couldn't name any of the squad. It was probably different back in the early 2000s when we had a handful of stars, but I couldn't name any of the squad. To
it's
be honest.
not. We you and I grew up in the era of we were spoiled
Gregan.
with George Gregan, Lottie
Yeah.
Takiri, like
Totai Kefu.
Yeah, like they were the glory days of the Wallabies.
Yeah.
Weren't they?
Now so it's
And then
it's, it's a lot more different.
I think after Pocock it's all gone
downhill, hasn't it? Yeah. Hey, you mentioned the first race.
Sandowner.
Sandowner.
Hillsider.
I was on air with the lads on Lids Fly on Monday night, and I really like this horse Conscience, but my only query is just the one official jump out. Is that a little asterisk on the horse, or do you trust Moody and Coleman?
I'm surprised you like a horse in something that you lack.
That's not the worst thing that's been said, mate. I'll tell you now. We better not get into the Singapore trip then.
No. You can't do anything in Singapore anyway.
I tell you what, they know how to party out there, though.
Oh, yeah.
Night scene. Wow.
It was my partner, as I was telling you off air, she lived there and absolutely loved it. I'd moved back in a heartbeat to Singapore. Hey, this is a really good race. Yes, one jump out. Now, I can't wait to chat to Lockie Nindorf. He's going to join us bang on after the 8:30 news. He's just finishing at the jump outs, putting the effort in. But this is a Ferrivia that absolutely demolished them in the in its South Australian debut.
Debuted in a 66,
But that was the Magic Millions 66
restricted race.
Yeah. So, but it was against the better end of what was up. Mm-hmm. And if you go back through that race, a couple of those horses aren't too bad, but you can only do what you can only do.
What do you?
But there are tips flying around everywhere for the 7. And there's mail flying around everywhere for the 4. So I said to my group last night, this is a fascinating race, my punters group. And half the group had been tipped the 4 and half the group had been tipped the 7.
So what do you do? Back the 1 sort of legacy.
Yeah.
Probably roll them all.
Yeah, backed on Sutton.
I've seen that happen so many times. It opens up a little more holistic question, which I know you like getting into to a certain point. The late season 2-year-old form, when they race fresh into the 3-year-old season, how do you analyse that? I'm to a point I always am slightly against it.
The races are never as strong.
No.
The late season 2-year-old races, of course they aren't. But the one thing you can find is that they might hold a 2-year-old that they think will be a 3-year-old and just start it as 2 to pick up 1 or 2, knowing that the horse, with the intention that the horse was always meant to be, they've let it develop that bit further with the intention of the horse being a gun 3-year-old. Yeah. And I had a chat to Hawksy about this, Paulie, that is the numbers of 2-year-olds are the lowest they've been in years of 2-year-old starters. Mm-hmm. And it's because a lot of people are holding these horses so they get more longevity out of them.
Do you think there's also, because there's been such a push for safety and not racing horses so young to, as you mentioned, keep them in the game for a while? Is that maybe part of it too?
I'm not entirely sure about that. I mean, I was taught when, you're getting around and you're talking to a lot of these guys at the sales when you're a kid and your parents are doing it, whatever. The 2-year-olds are not. It's most 2-year-olds you're not getting fully developed. Even though they can look like they're fully developed, they will still change.
Yeah.
And the money's still there to race the 2-year-olds, but you've only got to go and have a look at some of the record of these really early, up and going early 2-year-olds. And what are their race records like post
exactly.
that early career?
Exactly.
And so there are stats and groups in it.
One of my favourite examples is that in Feeling Ready. Went and won the Slipper, and then I think had only won 2 career races in 45 starts.
The Slipper winners have a horrific record post winning the Slipper. It's horrific. Like it's terrible reading.
The one horse I wanted to follow, and I mentioned it to you last week, was that Smart Filly of Kira Ma, Exit.
Oh, we only spoke about it yesterday.
Yeah, she's very. I was waiting to back her, and they went up way too
There's
short.
a few.
She's smart.
If you pull,
very smart.
Tempted could do anything. There was a trial yesterday of a horse called Skyhook.
Oh yes.
There's a few that are going to come through. The crop's looking bright, but I'll pose this question later, and I'll ask you now, right as we go to the news. Mm-hmm. Will a 3-year-old come out of the ground to be a threat in the Everest?
Yes.
Yeah. And then it's about trying to work out who is who. Hey, Paulie, we're going to jump to the news.
Let's do it.
And you do that because I don't. But can you press a button for the news?
I can.
On the other side of this, Lockie Neindorf, who's come from, just out of curiosity, are you with Conscience in the first with the one jump out or not?
I am, yes, but I haven't had a huge wager.
Yeah, I'm sticking with, I'm going to stick with Lockie. And we'll ask him his thoughts on the other side of this. Plenty more to come. Giddy Up brought to you by Bet365. Imagine what you could be buying instead.
Powered by Signet, making SEN News headlines. International pressure on Israel over the crisis in Gaza intensifies, with the UK vowing to follow France in recognising a Palestinian state. A former New South Wales police officer who fatally tasered a 95-year-old woman will this morning learn if he'll face a harsher sentence. Children under 16 will be banned from using YouTube when the federal government's social media age restrictions come into effect in December. And new research on early detection is being used to predict the genetic risk of developing multiple sclerosis. Up next, SEN Sport. Footy performance boss Greg Swan says last touch out of bounds could be on the way to the AFL, where a free kick is paid against the side who last touched the ball before crossing the boundary. Next year's Asia Cup has the Matildas drawn in Group A with the Korean Republic, Iran and the Philippines. And in tennis, Aussies Daria Kasatkina and Maya Joint have posted wins at the Canadian Open.
Join the conversation. Text us on 0499 736 736. Live across Australia on SEN Track. Giddy Up with Gareth Hall.
Runs the inside, Familia. It's making ground along the inside. It's out after Gold Rush Guru. Familia takes the lead now from Gold Rush Guru. They're clear of Lavellia. Now getting out. Statuario's flying home. Familia's in front. Statuario's grinding home. Familia is in front. Statuario's running out of time. And it's Familia. Familia wins from
Welcome back to
second
Giddy
place.
Up. Well, feminile, as I say. He had a bit of a shocker there, Timmy Edwards. Getting it done there for the second Group 1 for a man that I love to follow. His name is Lockie Neindorf, and he joins us on the line this morning. Lockie, hello to you, mate.
Hey guys, how are we?
Very well, thank you. Hey, mate, what is the pronunciation of that horse? Do you know? Because Tim Edwards had a mare with that.
I believe it's Feminile.
Feminile. Yeah, I reckon we'll go with that. Hey, you must be pretty chuffed with your season, mate. Equal second in the SA Metro Premiership. You got your second Group 1. You're really starting to put in some gun steers. I mean, we watch you on SEN track quite a bit, and I think that you've sort of improved and just getting better and better all the time.
Yeah, thanks for that. It's something that I've always sort of strived to do and never sort of get complacent and keep on improving myself as a rider and as a person in the way that I sort of come across to the ownership and trainer group. So I really believe that I have taken that next step sort of this last season and been able to improve in those aspects. And my riding and that sort of, the winners are sort of starting to replicate that, and obviously being able to ride in bigger races and handle that sort of pressured situation and still be able to produce on that sort of big stage has been a bonus also.
Lockie, it looks like your race assessment, I mean, you're making really good decisions early on in races. The form aspect of knowing sort of the right horses to be on the back of, I mean, even from an outsider looking in, and look, you sat on a couple for me before, but from an outsider looking in, it looks like even like those sort of smaller details and the decisions you're making in races even improving.
Yeah, exactly right. It's I've been pretty grateful. Like, I can't take all the credit for that. I've always had a pretty close-knit team throughout my whole career, but it's something that we've definitely tried to fine-tune is obviously the decision-making in racing and trying to stand out from the rest of the group. And that's something that sort of my form analyst, James Jordan, he's had a massive role to play in that. He's obviously been well publicised as somebody that's helped me throughout my career, but more significantly probably these last two seasons, and it's thanks to him I've probably been able to have success and get on those sort of better rides in the bigger races because of the way I can sort of make decisions. And at the end of the day, you need to be able to do that in races and sum up a race very quickly and go out there with a game plan and then also be able to resort to plan B if that game plan doesn't work out initially. So it's something that I've been working on.
He's one of the best in the business, that's for sure. James Jordan absolutely knows his stuff, and mate, if you've got him going through races with you, it's going to go a long way. Hey, tell us about the move to Victoria. When did this sort of start to come about? And I know you've done a stint over here before, but moving over now and looks like you're pretty heavily associated with the Stokes team over here.
Yeah, that's right. It's something that's always sort of been in the back of my mind. I suppose probably throughout the second half of the season just gone. It's sort of something that's been floating around my head, and it's sort of popped up a couple of times between my manager and my form analyst, and even sort of Phil sort of brought it up a couple of times. Are you thinking of moving to Melbourne? And it's something that I've hummed and hard about. But at the end of the day, like I said, I'm always wanting to improve myself, and I feel like I've probably reached a mark in Adelaide where I need to sort of go test the waters elsewhere. And Melbourne just seemed a great opportunity, obviously, with the backing of sort of the Stoke stable there, coming off the back of two consecutive good seasons and a couple Group 1s under my belt now to keep that momentum flowing into somewhere bigger, which Melbourne for me was probably the no-brainer to go to in another state. So that was sort of the decision making there.
They seem to be having a real crack, the Stokes team. I mean, flying in South Australia and flying here as well. Philip's putting a good team around him. They've obviously Jacko is there, part of the racing management team there as well. But it looks onwards and upwards for team at Stokes.
Yeah, they're a phenomenal team, and they just keep on growing and getting better every season. And obviously Phil and his two boys, Kieran and Tommy, they do a magnificent job. And then obviously it spans broader over here than that. You know, obviously, like you said, Jackson's just not long been added to the team, and he's a great addition, obviously. And they all have such a vital role to play, and they play it very well. Even Shade and Unzio, obviously. assistant trainer also over here. Very hard working. They've all got a passion for the horse, and when you have that, it takes you a long way. And I'm very excited and grateful to be a part of, have a small part to play in their team.
Lockie, I won't keep you too long. I know you've been at the jump outs this morning, mate. And look, you have a ride in the first at Sandown, and I do want to talk to you about this horse for Rivia. This horse looks like it might have above average ability. It had the one go over there in Adelaide, comes over here to the first at Sandown, heavily supported in the market. What can you tell us about this horse, and what are you expecting today in the first?
She's a very, very smart filly. She's shown a few attributes sort of early on before she stepped foot on the race day, her first start, that she might be above average, and she proved that first start. Obviously, then she's come over here and looked to sort of target this race today with on the back burner, maybe going to a stakes race if she performs well today. I think she's more than capable. She oozes a lot of sort of raw ability. Hopefully she's still holding it together well enough professionalism-wise to sort of go out there and get the job done today. That'd be my only query. She is still a little bit of a green horse, but she oozes ability. And I think if she can sort of, the big track suits her up to 1,100, 100 metres isn't going to hurt her whatsoever. A bit of cushion in the track will be a bonus. Obviously, Peter Moody's is quite wrapped up in the race, so I'd say Blake Shin would be looking to get on my back. But I think we'll surprise. I think she can really step up to the mark today. Yeah,
and a horse that looks like it can do it up on speed, big track like this with a soft draw. No doubt you've worked through how you're going to go about it. But, yeah, look like Conscience sitting on your back and whoever can handle it the best.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, my obviously my filly's got the bonus of race fitness there, so you know I'm pretty confident she can take that next step, and hopefully she can, and on to bigger and better things after today.
Lockie, appreciate you jumping on with me this morning, mate. I wish you all the best. Hopefully we can add to that Group 1 list and a few more winners over here in Melbourne. You've done extremely well, mate, and I've loved following your career so far. So best of luck moving forward, my friend.
Thanks a lot for that. Appreciate it.
Lockie Neindorf there, absolute ripper. I think he rode 2 or 3 for us, I reckon, as an apprentice. Like when he got off, really good young kid, and the development, especially the decision making in run. If you haven't watched him over there in South Australia, you're going to see a fair bit more of him here in Melbourne. We're going to jump to a quick break. On the other side of this, Gavin Bedgegood will discuss the double, and also he's got a runner at Warwick Farm and 3 at Sandown today. So we'll have a chat to Bedgie on the other side of this. This is Giddy Up for Bet365. It's never ordinary when it's brought to you by Bet365. Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.
Join the conversation. Text us on 0499 736 736. Live across Australia on SEN Track. Giddy up with Gareth Hall.
You can tell Paul Sebastiani's back in the house. Well, welcome back. This is Giddy Up. Miles Pfitzner with you for Bet365. It's never ordinary when it's brought to you by Bet365. Our next guest, well, double on the weekend's got some runners today. He's a ripping bloke, always generous with his time. His name is Gavin Bedgegood, and he joins me this morning. Hello, Bedgie.
Morning, Miles.
Hey, mate, congratulations on the double there on the weekend. That must have been nice.
Yeah, very much so. It was needed. We had a pretty, lean time of it over the last 4 or 5 weeks. So, it was good to hit the board.
Still had a pretty good 12 months, mate. You're striking at just over 15% and at the 65 winners in the last 12 months. Benji, we caught up at the Cox Plate, I think it was last year, and we were having a chat. Everyone always asks you about the horses you get, the second-hand horses, but we're talking about getting some newer horses and getting some sort of fresh, younger horses in the stable. How's that transition as we're coming up to sort of that 12-month period now?
Yeah, really good. We've got, I reckon, a dozen 2-year-olds, soon to be 3, and there's probably 15 yearlings this year. I think we've got about 7 or 8 of them in work at the moment. So, we're slowly sort of making that transition. It's not saying I don't want the tried horses, but it's good to have a bit of young blood in the stables too.
Well, when we were chatting there, I know everyone asks you the same questions over and over and over all the time, but it's nice to get some of the young ones in, and I'm glad that you're getting a chance with some of these younger horses. Anything that's taken your eye nice and early that the punters can keep an eye out for that we haven't seen yet?
Probably. I've got a nice 2-year-old by Exceedance there called Axiom, who I've got good time for, and got another one there, Jet Setter Jack. He's a full-to horse we've got or had called Impish Lady, who was able to win 4 in a row. He's a nice horse going forward too. And then there's sort of the Pot C. He ran 3rd in the Chairman's his first start, and Yamashita's Gold. He was 2nd in the Blue Diamond Preview. He's handy enough too. Well,
Yamashita's Gold, I see you've pulled that out of the first at Sandown today. That race we're talking about, it looks pretty hot, that race, with for Rivia and, of course, Conscience here for Peter Moody.
Yeah, it's a borderline stakes grade race for midweek money, so I think we're all better off staying at home and just trying to find a suitable maiden and make him a winner.
Let's run through your runners there. You've got race 3, number 8, Silent Shares. Looks only lightly raced, but up to the 1600 here.
Yeah, off her run the other day, the 1600 won't be an issue. 7-day backup, I don't have any concerns with. She's done really well over the last 7 days, and it's a tricky map for her. She's sort of been pretty unlucky with barriers or preparation, but I'd be disappointed if she wasn't in the hunt.
Let's go to race number 5. You've got Nimbus 2000 at a good each way odds with Bet365. Nice win at Bendigo on the heavy deck last start.
Yeah, he's another horse that's been really consistent all campaign. Back out to 1400, he was effective at that trip, sort of Saturday grade, going back a couple of starts. It's another one who probably hasn't fared that well with barriers, his preparation, and when he has, he's been able to get the job done. So I'll be just leaving it up to Monty. There looks good speed in the race, and I would say he's midfield second half and looking to be strong late.
We go to race number 6. You've got Nazrawi or Nazare. I'm not sure how to say it. You draw inside Ethan Brown in the saddle. Just missed the last couple, but there's been market support nice and early.
Yeah, he's a model of consistency. He's been around forever, and he never runs poorly. He's sort of mapped to get a good run, and look, he probably lacks the class sometimes, but he makes up with it with how genuine he is. So he's always in the mix.
And then I want to touch on your runner at Warwick Farm in the first today. Rasp, the 3-year-old Street Boss gelding, goes up there. Colette in the saddle, placed its last 2.
Yeah, he was quite good at Bendigo last start, and another couple of strides, and he probably wins running away. Not a lot of speed in the race, and he's a horse that sort of we have tried to put him into a position in running, and it hasn't really eventuated. And once again today, there doesn't look to be a lot of speed on paper, but we've engaged Jason Collett, so I don't need to tell him too much. He'll be midfield second half, and if he's running through the line anywhere near as well as what he did last time out, I'd be disappointed if he wasn't getting the chocolates.
Is there a reason why that horse went up north? Maybe is there some reason why he goes to Warwick Farm?
It's a $100,000 2- and 3-year-old maiden.
Like it.
I thought off his last start he warranted the road trip, and there was sort of $27,000 maidens everywhere in Victoria, and he's a Vobis horse, and there was no Vobis money around for him, so I thought we needed to try and capitalise on his chance to earn some decent money before he turned 4.
No, I like it. Placement looks good. Hey, mate, best of luck today. Hopefully catch up with you throughout the spring, mate. Wish you all the best, and look forward to following some of your horses, especially some of these young ones coming through.
Beauty. Thanks, Miles.
Gavin Bed's good there. Absolute ripper, Bedgie. And yeah, good push there for Rasp. Warranted a trip up the highway. What we might do, we'll clear our last break for the half hour. We'll come back and wrap the show, or the first hour on the other side of this. Remember, still to come, massive edition of Bag of Tips, Trial Time, love it or leave it. Jake from Watsonia. Guys, mark it down now. Mark my words. Exit will win the 1,000 guineas off the text. Well, Lee, Jake. Good horse. Back in a moment.
Join the conversation. Text us on 0499 736 736. Live across Australia on SEN Track. Giddy up with Gareth Hall.
Welcome back. 8:58, wherever you are right around the country, hello to you. We'll reset the show on the other side of this. Bag of tips not far away, but we've got Gannon, Watling, Lewis, Nelson, Anthony's, Castles. I can't say Castles, can I? Because I'm in Victoria. You guys, with cricket, you say, Hassel is Castle. Makes no sense. You also say dint here, don't you? It's a dent in your car. Yeah. Crazy stuff. Big edition bag of tips. Love it or leave it, still to come. You name it, we have it. I'll give you the weather on the other side of this. Don't worry about looking it up on your phone. Come to Giddy Up. We'll give you the weather. We'll give you the now, the feels like, and the forecast. All thanks to the team at Bet365 with Top Tote Plus. You'll get the best payout across all three national totes. Imagine what you could be buying instead. Big fella, lovely morning for a nice 2-hour walk around McLeod. Enjoy your Wednesday. Good on you, big fella. Keep texting in. Damo, hello to you. Back in a moment.
Powered by Signet. Good morning. I'm Nath Gardner with SEN News. To Sydney first, where a fire above a restaurant in the city's northwest has turned deadly. Flames and smoke were billowing from the property's second level when firefighters arrived. A 55-year-old man was pulled from a unit and taken to hospital. Sadly, he died a short time later. A minor earthquake measuring 4.8 was felt near Perth overnight, with early reports confirming seismic activity around 2 a.m. local time. No damage has been reported. Victoria's state government is under fire for voting to block opposition proposed legislation to overhaul the Working with Children check system. But MPs claim the government is still reviewing the system. A digital education program being rolled out to Australian schools is being hailed a success in curbing teen vaping rates. It comes as latest government figures suggest teens taking up the habit are starting to decline. Senior Research Fellow at the Matilda Centre, Dr. Lauren Gardner, says the World First program is proving the effectiveness of targeted education.
And we found that students who did the Our Futures vaping program were 65% less likely to vape in the year after the program compared to those who received standard health education.
Brisbane has come in as the most expensive capital in Australia for home and contents insurance. And University of South Australia researchers are using DNA profiling to detect early signs of multiple sclerosis before symptoms even begin. Coming up, SEN Sport. The AFL will soon finalise a new deal for increased returns for tenant clubs of Marvel Stadium. Essendon, the Bulldogs, Carlton, St Kilda and North Melbourne to receive a sizable increase to their guaranteed payments. And at the US Open lead-in event, the Canadian Open, Aussies Alexei Popyrin and Daria Kazatkina are through to the round of 32.
Join the conversation. Text us on 0499 736 736. Live across Australia on SEN Track. Giddy up with Gareth Hall.
Good morning. If you're just joining us for the first time, hello to you. Miles Pfitzner filling in for Gareth Hall for Giddy Up. All thanks to the team at Bet365. You get the best payout across all three national totes with Bet365 Top Tote Plus. Imagine what you can be buying instead. 9:04 a.m. Eastern at the moment. Hello to you. If you've missed the start of the show, Lockie Nightoff, Peter Roble and Gavin Bedgood joined us with Paul Sebastiani in the first hour. You can catch that on all your podcasting services. And for the weather around the country, Sydney currently 11.5 degrees, forecast of 15. Melbourne is now 8.5 degrees, warming up with a max of 14. Brisbane, 15 degrees with a max of 24. Perth is 7.5 degrees with a max of 18. Adelaide, 9.5, max of 15. Hobart, chilly. 5.5 degrees, max of 13. Canberra about the same, 5.5 degrees, max of 11. And Darwin, just a cool 24.5 degrees with a max of 31 today, cooling down for the weekend. Big show coming up. Bag of Tips about to start. We've still got trial time with two of the best in the business. And then Love It or Leave It with Sam Hyland and Mickey Gannon. Speaking of Mickey Gannon, it's time for this.
The Giddy Up Bag of Tips for Oz Equipment Rentals. Supplying equipment to the construction, mining and roadworks industries. OzEquipment.com.
Time for Bag of Tips. Who better to join me than the superstar himself? I speak of one, M. Gannon, who's going to be sitting in the chair here on Monday and on Tuesday. Hello to you, Mickey G.
Yeah, g'day, mate. Looking forward to Monday and Tuesday next week. That should be good. Looking forward to keeping Wayne Hawkes on a short leash as well.
Well, just on that, what we might be doing is we might have a four-way means test with Johnny O'Neill, and I might dial in from Darwin, from the Darwin Cup with you and Hawksy for...
I won't be able to get a bloody word in with you lot.
I couldn't get a word in the Monday just gone, but I liked it, especially when Hawksy brings footage of Gareth falling down the stairs.
Very good. Very good, the great man. He won't be falling in row 1A. Let me give you the red hot tip on his way to Europe.
Yeah, well... You might have to have someone carry his bags for him. Rightio. Hey, let's go to Warwick Farm. Currently a soft 6. And look, we had the midweek masterclass. You did mention race 1, number 2, Indigo Star yesterday. You're still sort of liking it?
Yeah, up from that. 4's into 3.30 yesterday, into now $2.70. Couple of scratchings here, but no real significant deductions. I think Indigo Star's clearly the horse to beat. So, based off everything he said yesterday, maybe we can back this horse with a bit of confidence. And around $2.80 now at Bet365, they've just put it out a roll, which is very kind of them as we speak. And I think it's a job done. It's interesting, this track today, Miles, soft 6, Penos of 5.26. So it's improved a little bit. There is plenty of rain forecast, and looking at the radar now, it's starting to arrive, but it doesn't look significantly heavy. But I think the key to this day of racing will be how much rain we get from 12:50 being race 1 onwards. So I think race 1, the soft 6 will hold up, might be a 7, but it won't be any worse. But then moving forward, be working probably closer to a 7, maybe even an 8 or a 9 later in the day.
Just had a chat to Benji in regards to Rasp as well, and Rach. We can't back Rach. No confidence in Rach whatsoever at all. We mentioned race number 3 yesterday. Now, you mentioned 2 horses. Now, the 7, Aroa Stone, has been scratched. You were going to back that if it was going to get wetter, but it's going to stay essentially on the dry side. So is this Autumn Dream, race 3, number 6?
Yeah, very keen. Autumn Dream comes out of just a Class 1 at Kembla Grange, but the time around late was very, very impressive off a very slow tempo. So stay at the back, a slow tempo, and only good horses do what it did. So finished off really, really well. I assume we're not any worse than a soft 7, and I think that it can repeat the dose. It's a pretty good progressive, I should say, pretty progressive type miles. And looking at the speed map here, Heaven Bound, American Starlet, Fairway Star, Bella Carazon, Audrey's Lane, all those 5 horses, they go forward. And I think Autumn Dream just stalks, peels off and goes bang. That's race 3, number 6, one of the better bets of the day.
Race number 5, we had a couple here as well in Hovland, the 8. We had the 12, El Hudson, and the 13, War Ribbon, and I sort of thought Naval Commission should have been in the hunt. Have you managed to narrow down a little bit here, or we just took those early prices and probably just sit back still?
Yeah, we took those early prices, but I'm now more keen on Hovland. Just haven't quite got to this heavy track state yet. So I think at this point, I'll be having another bet at Hovland later on and just leave the others as they are. Just more ridden, probably was a bit more confident with it being in the heavy range, but we're not there yet. So at this stage, I'm going to have another bet on Hovland and let the other two ride, mate.
Anything else on the card you like today or that you want to mention?
Yeah, I think Cassius should win race 6. Was pretty short. I'm not really willing to take that price, so you can leave me out of that. In the last, I probably was still keen on that 2-bet play, Don Juan Golden Strand as well, race 7, the 9 and the 10. I reckon it's a good horse, and I did everything I possibly could to make this horse a bet, and then every time I look at this, it's won 3 of 40, and it continues to run placings. If you get beaten by a horse like that, then so be it. I think more than willing to take it on, and I think we could have something on the 9 and then save on the 10.
Yeah, Don Juan, the Omen bet with Sebastiani coming back.
Yeah.
Hey, mate, looking forward to chatting a little bit later on for Love It or Leave It, my friend. We'll chat soon.
Look forward to it.
This is Bag of Tips for the Ultima Hotel in the heart of the Mallee, just down the road from Swan Hill. Swing by for a cold beer and for Oz Equipment Rentals, supplying equipment to the construction, mining and roadworks industries. Go to ozequipment.com. And with Bet365 Top Tote Plus, we get the best of all three totes. Thanks to the team at Bet365. Gamble responsibly. Dean Watling joins me. Good morning to you, Dino.
Good morning, Miles. How are you?
Oh, look, I'm well. I am well. How are you, more importantly?
Yeah, going good. It's exciting time in racing. I'm just looking at the trials from last week and yesterday, Milo. If that doesn't perk you up, I don't know what will.
I watched. Well, I got to sit down and watch all of them, and there's a few I want to ask you about in trial time. There's 2 or 3 horses that just got me a little bit, just get a bit tingly in the loins.
I know what word you're searching for. Yeah. Oh, that's good. I'm the same. It's yesterday's heats were great. I think we've got the Rosebud coming up soon, so I think that's going to be the first point of call for these newly turned 3-year-olds. So I know you caught your eye with a 2-year-old that has some ability and went around a Golden Sip. I'm sure we'll touch that in trial time. But, yeah, it's an exciting time to get back to the spring.
Certainly is. What have you got for us at Warwick Farm today, my friend?
The 2 shorties that I do like, race 1, number 2, Indigo Star, copped the 4 ride last start. They went 11 straight to 14. So that tells me that probably come back and wants further, gets 16 now. Gets a good gate and gets James McDonald. I think it's Indigo Stars race to lose in the first. The other shorty I like, race 7, number 10, Golden Strand, comes out of a really strong rating, Saturday fast race. Pfitzner still handles the wet, so if the rain does come by the last, I think this horse is the one to beat. Yes, getting short enough now, but should be dropping back in grade, and Diddle Dumpling somewhat franked that form again too. So I think they're the 2 shorties I want to play. The 2 that I like are big odds, Milo. Race 2, number 12, Inviable, who comes out of our trial time black book. It was number 1 on our rankings last week. 54 kilos. I'd suggest that's the only reason James isn't aboard. But Zach Boyd jumps on 2 smart trials, the latest behind Artistic Venture, who's a really sharp 2-year-old. So that's a nice enough guide. The Stars is a favourite, but if you watch last start, I thought its wheels spun in the heavy conditions or the soft conditions up there in Newcastle. So that's a concern. Race 2, number 12, Inviable, big odds. And the other one I like as well, race 6, number 5, Jambalaya. First up for the Richard Lee camp. He's got a terrific strike rate getting these Godolphin Calipers to win first up for his stable. Yes, the wet track's a concern. I think if we get a downgrade throughout the day, Milo, then he might come out. So just trust the camp there. But race 6, number 5 at Jambalaya, big odds too.
We're currently $2.80 Indigo Star with Bet365. You and Gano have both aligned. Unless Mitchie Lewis can really steam me into something, I think we might make Indigo Star our Bet Boost horse of the day, I think.
I think Rust is the only danger, but the figure's only been fair down there. I think he's chasing somewhat of a bit heavier of a track. I think if the rain stays away and we sit off 6 to kick off the day, I think Indigo Star's incredibly hard to beat. It's a pretty plain maiden, to be honest.
Dino, I appreciate your time as always. Looking forward to chatting in trial time, mate, and we'll chat soon.
Look forward to it, mate.
Dean Watling there. Let's switch from one superstar to another. And we're waiting just a second on Mitchie Lewis as we do Sandown and Balaclava. 0499 736 736. Damo said all Dino needs to speak about is Autumn Glow. Cheers from Damo. If you want to ask on any horses, here's your chance. 0499 736 736. Mitch Lewis from formguidebreakdowns.com joins me on the line. Good morning to you, Mitchell.
Morning, mates. How are you today?
I'm well. Do you want to start at Balaclava?
We can do, yep. The trickier of the meetings, in my opinion. Obviously,
Wet deck, baby.
And we don't often see Balaclava really wet. It's a nice, quick track, and when it's wet, they come away from the rails. They'll spread right across the track. So, look, it's going to be a little bit tricky. Quickly, race 1. They took our advice yesterday. It's not one of my best bets anymore. Race 1, number 12, Skadoosh. It opened 3 miles, but I think if you blinked, it was gone. So, well done to anyone that got that, but it's at $1.90 now and a heavy 9 on debut. I'm not touching it anymore.
Yeah, it's very, very short now. The other one you had was race 4, number 4, Bolt Saver. Still keen on it?
Well, it's racing at Sandown, so...
no, well then you're not.
We'll be keen on it in a little bit.
What about race 6, number 1, Get Along?
No, so we're going to go race 5. We've got the 2-bet play that we're sticking with because we got the value.
Love it.
This is Balaclava.
Yep.
Babiaka.
Babiaka, race 5, number 1. I've got too many notes on my page here. Do apologise.
All good. So second behind Australia and Sundog 3 back, a length and a half behind Hadra, Beauty Bound, and then second behind Aloha Blue. Really good form lines. That sets up well for this down in grade. Caitlin Tootle takes a couple kilos off. So that sets up nice for me, but I want to have the Saver, Smashing Action. It's a horse at 1 here, 3 back. I think it'll handle the heavy. And it maps to go forward. So we're going to have that 2-bet play. One's around 650, one's around 460-ish last I checked.
Yep. So we were backing Babiaka, the 1, and then saving the 9, Smashing Action. You got the others at Balaclava before we go to Sandown?
A staying race. You know, I don't often do this. We're going to throw race 7, number 2, Enciphering. He's a wet tracker, loves a wet track, maps well. Alicia Warren takes 3 kilos off to get us to 59. I think it's his race to lose down in grade slightly.
Like it. Right, let's move to Sandown. This is where we can talk Bolt Saver and Get Along, but we start. What about race 3, number 3, Butternut Princess?
Yeah, I like that. So second last start behind All Business. Gets a good weight swing in here versus that horse now. All Business has had another run since, and he's going to go 1,700 back to 1,600 metres. So for me, Butternut Princess, I think, sets up well here with the weight swing. If you had to swap the runs last time, I reckon Butternut Princess could have went close to knocking it off. So we are going to stick with that one this time.
Around $5 and $1.95 with Bet365. Bolt Saver. Race 4, number 4, Bolt Saver.
It's been handy in races a little bit harder than this, I think, Miles. So I know he's got 6th, 5th, 6th. But if you look particularly the last 2, he's only a length and a half off him and a length last start behind Vienna Vixen. Maybe hitting the line strongest in those races, but maybe just getting a little bit too far back. So it's no knock Johnny Allen, but Blake Shin's a positive rider, so I know it's going to be wide. I would suggest the horse settles midfield with some cover. So if we're not too far back this time, get a clean run of them at the big hillside track. I think it's every chance. And then race 6, Get Along, they scratched, so disappointing there. I thought we had one, so I'm going to throw in at the shorts. Look, race 1... I like Conscience, just price-wise.
Oh, no.
Look, yesterday it was floating around 260. It's a horse that's got form lines around things like Sustainable and Recuperado, like Black Type level, and Ferrari is coming out of what's basically a 2-year-old maiden there at Murray Bridge. I know it's a BM66, but they're basically maidens, those SA1. So I just thought the prices should have been a little bit closer. If you can find that 250, 260 again for Conscience, I sort of had them flipped in the market. They're the 2 standouts, but I couldn't understand the one with Black Type form versus benchmark form being favourite. And I think they both probably performed similar on debut.
210 v 230. They've both got similar-ish colours. They're white with a green sash and white with a sort of a lighter green checkered sash as well. It's both heavily in the market. Lockie Neindorf locks one. I mentioned earlier that in my sort of WhatsApp punting group is half the group have been tipped one and half the group have been tipped the other.
Yeah,
from the camps.
I've seen.
Yeah,
I've got the sniff of one of these. One of these horses. I'm not going to talk about which one. There's a big sniff on. People might have seen the same text, I think. So we will see. But yeah, I'm looking at these sort of the prices versus maiden versus Black Type. I just sort of thought Conscience when it was 260 yesterday. I thought it was a little bit silly when the other one was 210.
Anything else, my friend?
I think I'm just going to leave it at that, mate. So steady enough day there, a little bit of value on these sticky tracks.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Hey, mate, you have a great day. I look forward to chatting to you throughout the week. And well done yesterday on the Bet Boost horse with Mr. Vane, but we're going to jump off you and we're going to jump on Dean Watling and Mickey Gannon with Indigo Star in the first. there at in Sydney.
Yeah, we've got to give everybody a turn. We'll bet 365 won't renew if we keep throwing it at me. So
Yeah, we
all right.
just can't keep winning it all the time, can you?
Nat, shout out Aussie Coffee there. Aussie Coffee blinkers on. What a success that was. Have a good day, mate.
You too, mate. Mitch Lewis there from formguidebreakdowns.com. We're going to jump to a break. We'll come back on the other side of this. Chris Nelson, Pete Anthony, Butch Castles, all still to come on Giddy Up, the bag of tips, all thanks to the Ultima Hotel, the mighty Ultima Hotel in the heart of the Mallee, just down the road from Swan Hill. Swing by for a cold frothy. And Oz Equipment Rental, supplying equipment to the construction, mining and roadworks industries. Go to ozequipment.com and Bet365 Boost Horse is Indigo Star in the first there in Sydney.
Join the conversation. Text us on 0499 736 736. Live across Australia on SEN Track. Giddy Up with Gareth Hall.
Welcome back to Giddy Up. It's Bag of Tips for the Mighty Ultima Hotel and Oz Equipment Rentals and Bet365 Top Tote Plus. Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. Let's head north to Queensland. Check out racingqueensland.com.au for where Queensland is racing today. Hello to you, Chris Nelson.
Good morning to you, Milo.
Hey, I had a good look last night. Are we still keen on Kikatinalong?
Well, I'm going to throw that word out there, moral.
Oh, no. Oh, dear God, no. Oh, wow. Chris O. Oh, wow. Here we go. All right, so you are still keen on Kikatinalong then?
Very much so. I don't know how they beat Kikatinalong. I mean, everything in her favour today. This is race 9, number 3 we talk about. She was so good last preparation. She went through some grades there. She won a couple at Toowoomba, but she didn't just win them. She bolted in. Now, she resumed at Doomben recently, 11:10. I love the way she found the line there late. It gave every indication that she needs to get out over further. So she gets that today. So easier race, less weight, good gate, up in distance. Has placed at the track. It's a soft 5, bordering on maybe a good 4, but probably more of a soft 5. I can't find any knocks. So I mean, we can only go on what we see on paper. I mean, as long as the horse is fit and healthy, and there's no reason why she shouldn't be, then I don't see how they beat her. So I think the $3 something that was available yesterday, $3.80 or something early on Bet365. Well, that's all gone dried up everywhere now. So take what we can get.
Well, $2.20 currently with Bet365. We've just made our boost horse Indigo Star, and I reckon we've made a big mistake there. That's available right until midday. So Indigo Star's the bet boost horse, but Kikatinalong, the M word. Oh, what could go wrong? All right, Chris, so what else? Well, you gave me yesterday Power of Success and Sawar of Success.
Now, I'll give you Power of Success here. Now, I did mention if there was some market support, and I'm speaking about race 1, number 3. There hasn't been any great market support. But by the same token, he hasn't drifted either. So just keep a close eye. As I said, he's trialled really well. He comes up against a couple here in Winchman and Brazen Act who do find it hard to win, and their record does suggest that. Yep. They run plenty of placings. Whereas he has got less convictions, and I loved his recent trial at Eagle Farm. So if he can run up to that, and he's not a drifter, when we get closer to the race time, I think he can run well. So race 1, number 3, Power of Success. Now, my other bet, I think we mentioned, Savor the Dream yesterday.
I wrote down Sower of Success, or in...
Where's that?
Maybe, no, Savor. Oh, no, I reckon I wrote Savor of Success because Power of Success was above it. Might have been a bit tired yesterday, Chriso.
That's okay.
It was Savor the Dream, race 8, number 2. That's what I've got.
I've still tipped that horse to win the race, but I'm playing this purely on an odds viewpoint. There's only 3 winning chances: Mr. Bianco, Savor the Dream, and 10 Good Reasons. Now, Savor the Dream, I think, is the best horse in the race. However, there is a horse there, number 10, 10 Good Reasons, who at the price of $6.50 and $2.10 on Bet365 is the value in the race because he's carrying 54 kilos. The others have got 57.5 and 61.5. Rock hard fit, looking for $13.50. Was a very good run last time out. So, as I said, I'm tipping Savor the Dream to win, but I'm going to advise people to back number 10 Good Reasons each way because I think he is really good value.
Yeah, he's a good horse. Hey, Chriso, look, best of luck today. We might need to cut that up, I reckon. Don't mind it. Hey, appreciate your time as always, my friend. On the chips ins out the window, the M word, bang, straight off the top.
Yep, straight to the top. Home and hose she goes. Kikatinalong.
I appreciate you, mate. We'll chat soon.
Thanks, Milo. Cheers.
Time for this.
The Western Whip Around. Tune in to Racing WA TV on 7+, your ultimate destination for everything racing in the West.
I'm loving Racing WA TV on 7+, your ultimate destination for everything racing in the West. All the coverage on .com too. I'm loving it. I love this man. Pete Anthony, hello to you.
How hello to you, Miles Pfitzner. No declarations from me this morning, unlike Chris Nelson. That was fantastic radio just before.
What about that? I was pretty keen, but I hate the M word. I hate it.
Well, I'll steer clear of that in my Belmont preview because I thought the quaddie was impossible, so I can use the I word. So steering clear of the last four on the card, but I'm going once more back to the well. Race 4, number 10, nicely played. Look, I thought the run first up, she almost probably should have won anyway. Just didn't find the outside fence there at Northam, and that was the place to be. Was basically, headed by two runners, still managed to fight back and was just flowers on the line. This looks a much better setup. Back to the Belmont 1,000 metres, drying surface. Chris Parnham should lead. Look, around the $3 there yesterday. It's just short of that now, but I think that's still a really good price. So race 4, number 10, nicely played.
I agree wholeheartedly with you. I've been with this horse. Yeah. It's 4 entire starts, so I'm not getting off now.
I think she bolted in one time when we were on Wednesdays in the West.
Yeah.
Look, really, she just has to lead and set an even tempo, and that the Belmont 1,000-metre start now just really lends itself to the right horses on speed. So that's the main and only play for me today.
$3 with Bet365. Anything else tickle your fancy?
Not really. Look, race 2, there's one at odds, Artistry in Motion. Didn't mind the trials from that runner, but the early prices has already been knocked off. Went from 18 into about 10. So, look, that 2-year-old race is about right now. So that's really it for me on the day. Just the one play.
Tricky enough little day. I'm expecting Belmont to be very kind to us so over the coming few weeks. I appreciate your time as always, Pete. Have I got you tippers and clippers tomorrow?
I believe so.
All right, better organise that.
I did see Juppy on the show last week, and Maury shaving his bonds. He's already bald bonds. So, look, I thought, why not just give him a bit of a challenge? And I haven't cut my hair in over 5 years, so we'll see how he goes. Who tips out first, if it's me or Maury?
I'll free up 3 hours tomorrow afternoon. Appreciate your time, Pete.
Thanks, Marley.
Let's go across the ditch. LoveRacing.nz, your home of New Zealand thoroughbred racing news, previews, reviews, profiles and more. Butch Castles joins me. Hello, Butch.
Hey, Miles, how you doing?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Not bad, not bad.
What are we playing today?
Cambridge Synthetic today, so
beautiful.
Another one on the Syntho at Cambridge. We'll go early, race 1, number 2, the Exponent, last start winner, likes it on the Synthetic. 15.50 now looks good to me. He's $3 and a race where there's probably only 2 or 3 chances. I thought he was the winner with the claim from Jack Taplin, who is doing a good job. So he'll do race 1, number 2, the Exponent. Then we'll go later in the day, race 6, number 2, San Simeon. Look, he's had 21 starts for 1 win, but he finds the right race today. I know it's bizarre to be tipping one that's had that many goes, but just lands in the right race. The run last time was really good. He's $3.30, and I thought that it was a race devoid of too many chances. So happy to be with him. Race 6, number 2, San Simeon, along with race 1, number 2, the Exponent.
I like it. $3 and $3.20 respectively with Bet365. Butch, appreciate your time as always, mate. Have a great day.
Good man. See ya.
Butch Castle's there, all thanks to loveracing.nz, your home of New Zealand thoroughbred racing news, previews, reviews, profiles and more. Get your pens, pencils and crayons ready. Let's go to Darren Carroll's tips for Bendigo. Just the one there for Darren today. Race 3, number 5, Soulsboy. That's race 3, 5 at Bendigo, Soulsboy. Amanda Rando, the superstar, Harness Racing New South Wales, the home of the Carnival of Cups, where Australian music royalty meets quality harness racing action. Bathurst, race 5, number 10, Cassius Deck, 5:10 at Bathurst. And race 6, 9, Nothing Finer, 6, 9, Nothing Finer. And that concludes our bag of tips. All thanks to the Ultima Hotel in the heart of the Mallee, just down the road from Swan Hill. Swing by for a cold beer. And, of course, Oz Equipment Rental, supplying equipment to the construction, mining and roadworks industries. Check out ozequipment.com. Shout out to Shane Bennett and the team. For Bet365, our Bet Boost horse is race 1, number 2, Indigo Star. Available on the Bet365 app until midday. Imagine what you can be buying instead. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. News, Paulo, hit it.
by Signet, making SEN News headlines. International pressure on Israel over the crisis in Gaza intensifies, with the UK vowing to follow France in recognising a Palestinian state. A former New South Wales police officer who fatally tasered a 95-year-old woman will this morning learn if he'll face a harsher sentence. Children under 16 will be banned from using YouTube when the federal government's social media age restrictions come into effect in December. And new research on early detection is being used to predict the genetic risk of developing multiple sclerosis. Up next, SEN Sport. The AFL will soon finalise a new deal for increased returns for tenant clubs of Marvel Stadium. Essendon, the Bulldogs, Carlton, St Kilda and North Melbourne to receive a sizable increase to their guaranteed payments. And at the US Open lead-in event, the Canadian Open, Aussies Alexei Popyrin and Daria Kazatkina are through to the round of 32.
Join the conversation. Text us on 0499 736 736. Live across Australia on SEN Track. Giddy up with Gareth Hall.
Welcome back to Giddy Up, 9:36am, right around the country. That is Eastern, of course. Giddy Up, Miles Pfitzner filling in for Gareth Hall, all thanks to the team at Bet365. Top Tote Plus, you get the best three payouts of all three totes. And, of course, it's never ordinary when it's brought to you by Bet365. Our boost horse, it won yesterday, Mr. Vane, Mitch Lewis. Now we go with Gano and Dino today. Race 1, number 2, Indigo Star. Up and available until 12. Of course, a couple off the text here. Just had a geeze at the Caulfield Trials. Why do they race down the back? And why can't we finish at the winning post? That's an interesting point. Where we can see. Well, if you pull up out the back there, skip the fence, you can have a good look. Just won't know who's going. Gregor said Brownie used the M word twice in 5 minutes yesterday. Yeah, I hate the M word. Do you know why? Because they get galloped on, they drop a shoe, they hit their head, pilot error. There is no such thing as a moral in racing. None. That's otherwise Chris Waller and Peter Moody would have never have got nervous watching Winks and Black Caviar go around. There's a reason why they were nervous, because they didn't want something to go wrong, because they know it can. We've still got a massive show still to come. Dean Watling and Matt Morton to join me for trial time right up until 11 o'clock, and then love it or leave it. Mickey Gann and Sam Hyler will jump in. We're going to talk about Caulfield Cup, Melbourne Cup, the Everest, the Cox Plate. I'll ask some questions around that. They can love it, they can leave it, and they can argue why. It'll be hot. We'll go to a break. Back right after this.
Join the conversation. Text us on 0499 736 736. Live across Australia on SEN Track. Giddy Up with Gareth Hall.
Now on Giddy Up, it's time for Trial Time with Dean Watling.
One of my favourite segments of the week is Trial Time. This is Giddy Up for Bet365. We love Trial Time, and one of the best in the business is our old mate Dean Watling, and he joins us from deanwatling.com. Hello again, Dino.
Morning again, Miles. I don't know about old, mate.
We're what, 4 years in, are we? We're 3 years in.
Oh, that's true. I thought you were talking about me being old. I was thinking,
No, as in you're an old mate of mine, not as in you're old and a mate.
Good. Just want to clarify that.
Hey, I want to touch on a few here. I'm loving your list because your number one seed that caught your eye, I am all over, white on rice at the moment. Do you want to start and run through your top five, and then we'll talk about another couple of the trials and work your way through?
Yeah, we can do that. We'll go 5-1, Milo, and leave the number one seed there for last. We kick off an unraced galloper by the name of Johnny, spelled Johhnny. Peter Snowden's got this horse, Milo. It's had a couple of preparations at the trials. Last prep had two really slick trials, and you'd thought it probably gets the races off that, but was spelled, so maybe a little issue there, maybe shin sore, but brought back again with two really solid trials. The recent one yesterday was in good time too. So Peter Snowden, he's one of the informed trainers at the minute in Sydney, so I expect Johnny to kick off over the next couple of weeks and break that maiden. That is number 5.
Yep.
We move to number 4. Hay Street is the name. A filly that I've got, a 2-year-old gelding, sorry, they've got a fair bit of time for. I liked him in his first preparation. He debuted 900 metres at Newcastle behind Buffalo. You watch that replay, he probably should have won that race. He then went to a smart Saturday class race called the Kindergarten Stakes behind North England at King of Pop. And again, if you go back and watch that replay, he sort of snagged last, rattles home down the outside. I think if they're nice and positive early, he wins that race. He's brought back here, 2 smart trials. He's still a maidener, so he won't verse the top echelon such as North England and King of Pop again. He'll be placed somewhere with the Annabelle Robb Archibald team and look to break that maiden. So Hay Street goes in for number 4 this week. We move to a couple of the big guns, Milo, and I know a couple of futures markets were dropped on Monday. The number 3 seed this week is Another Will.
Horse.
I don't tend to like to put these sort of exposed gallopers that we all know into the list or into the black book, but he's a horse who's taken sort of that length improvement every preparation he's come back. So he's a 6-year-old for the spring this year. That is his optimum age where we see the best out of his horses. He's been trained up here in Sydney, which is interesting. So he's been out of the Newcastle base. He trialled at Gosford last week alongside Gringotts, and Gosford's one of the best track to watch trials. The straight past the post is very, very good to watch. So he was outstanding late and through the line. I'd suggest they're probably going to go to the 1400 metres Wing Stakes first up with him. He beat Brightside first up last prep in the CF Stakes. If he's come back that length better, I think he might catch a couple of these stayers, such as Avia Sistina and co. On the hop first up. I think he's a nice betting. I think he's around $6-7 in some futures markets. I think we'll probably get that race day, but I think Another Will's come back in outstanding order. Of the two, he looked better than Gringotts, who tends to need that first up run than he fires. So,
Gringotts, physically has come back, to me, to his eye, looks like he's come back a lot better horse. But is Another Will then, how are you seeing a race like the Epsom then? Or is that where it just becomes a bit hard for some of these others once you get there?
Yeah, that's an obviously handicap with his sort of ratings. I'm not sure what they're sort of going. I'm not sure what they're going to be the targets. He's obviously going to have to beat and verse the best sort of horses later in the prep. I just think with his sort of ability to sprint so well fresh, I think a Wing Stakes would be a perfect race for him. Gringotts is similar. They might go a different path with him and sort of avoid that top ranked horses. But I just think first up, Via's come back. She's going to be very short in that market. Everyone knows her, but I think if you remember sort of Very Elegant when she got the back end of her career, the Wing Stakes become a bit of an ask sort of when you get later on and you got those bigger sort of Cox Plate and those sort of targets where Another Will, obviously, he might go there, but he's got that sort of younger, fresher feel to him.
Yep.
I think he might be able to knock one of those races off. So he's number 3 this week in the top 5.
Yep.
Number 2, horse that no one will know, Mr. Hopeful is his name, O'Shane Shelton, another informed camp. Sneaky first good trial, Milo, 800 metres at Hawkes in behind Frenelli, who's a 2-year-old I've got a really big opinion of. He was then sent to Gosford last week, got exposed, was given a solid hit out here and responded very, very well. He's got a lovely tactical, versatile pattern. First trial went back, second trial went forward. And James is on board in the latest. So Mr. Hopeful's one that hasn't been at the races yet, but we should see over the next couple of weeks. And I think it'll be a nice horse we get back on debut. So Mr. Hopeful, number 2.
Is the one.
Number 1.
Is the one.
I hadn't watched the trials yesterday, Milo, and you sent me a sneaky text and said Skyhook with the little look eye emoji. So I jumped on this morning and did my review, and gee, it was a trial behind Wesley Swindon. I think the winner of the trial, What a Legacy, goes all right too. But Skyhooks, I think it was my tip for the slipper. I'm not sure if you locked in the slipper too, Milo.
Nah, not in the slipper. I was Mahuna early. I didn't bab a bet in the slipper. I don't like him. I'll try to find him going in. But yeah, I backed Mahuna on the way in, but I wasn't really. I thought maybe Rivellino was probably sort of some sort of bet. But I don't bet in the slippers.
He was my tip in the slip, and I thought it was a touch disappointed at the time, but reviewing that, he did it all in his first prep. So he debuted in the Piero Plate 15th of Feb, and then he aimed up in a slipper for his 4th run, the 22nd of March. I think he maybe ran his grand final race in the Pago when he put 3.5 lengths on State Visit and Co. So he's got the upside in the sense of Rivanello, sort of your North Englands, all those types had 1 or 2 preparations leading into that sort of slipper season where he was doing it in his first. So we talk about improvement. I think Skyhook's maybe got the most, such as Maharuna's similar vote to that, but he made Western Swindon look like a second-rate horse in this trial. He sort of got through and past the line, and what I like most overall, Milo, it was slick times. So times do matter. They do matter a fair bit. They're not everything, not the be and all, but I love the time, love the style. I think Skyhook's in for a terrific campaign.
Yeah, Skyhook's got to go in your book. Wherever you are around the country, put Skyhook in your book now. Dino, running short on time, mate. Appreciate you as always. Chat soon.
Thanks, mate.
Dean Watling from deanwatling.com. Quick break. Matt Morton will join us on the other side of this for his top 5. Back in a moment.
Join the conversation. Text us on 0499 736 736. Live across Australia on SEN Track. Giddy Up with Gareth Hall.
Welcome back to Giddy Up and Trial Time. Another one that's one of the best in the business. I speak of Matty Morton. He joins us this morning. Good morning to you, Matty.
Good morning, listeners. Good morning, Miles.
Hey, mate, I'm liking your top five. Let's get straight into them. And the first horse, people will have a bit of a recency bias towards.
Yeah, absolutely. Promising galloper Revelare. He continually defied his critics in the autumn and is coming to hand nicely this campaign. He was close up under a tight hold yesterday behind a solid and fit 77 improver, 77 rated improver. And Revelare looks ready to go soon. Look out for him at 1,600 metres first up. Not seen on a wet track, but his dam handle is okay, so he should get through the ground.
Number 4 for your book?
Yep, number 4 is an unraced filly, Yellow Knife. I put her up 2 weeks ago when I saw, and I saw no reason to adjust that assessment yesterday at Pakenham. She was held up widest of all, just off the speed, and Mick D took a pull on her rounding the bend. She responded nicely once asked after straightening and went by a couple of handy once-raced maidens from the Stokes yard to score well. This filly has taken time to find her feet, but is definitely going the right way now, and a debut victory looks well within her scope.
This trial I watched live yesterday, couldn't believe it. Your number 3 horse, it was unbelievable, the trial.
Yeah, she was very good. She did what was expected against some pretty handy stayers. They were never going to be able to keep up with her. Perfumist was a big improver last campaign and may not have reached her threshold just yet. 2 nice trials this time in, including an all-the-way effort when thrashing that handy grip of stayers yesterday morning. And she could have gone a lot faster and looks capable of winning a listed mares race at 1,400 to 1,600 metres this spring. The form from her last campaign has been holding up pretty well. She handles any sort of going and is versatile enough, whatever the weather throws her way.
Your number 2?
Number 2, one from Warwick Farm on Friday, unbeaten wooden bash 2-year-old Agar Wood. He's only had 2 months off and may have a fitness edge to go with his obvious ability when facing decent 3-year-olds first up. Made mincemeat of the opposition with little encouragement or effort required on Friday. The Waterhouse Plot team are always well tuned up for the early 3-year-old races, and this guy looks a very likely candidate.
And your top one in the last minute, Matty, looks a nice horse.
Absolutely. Graham Begg trained Royal Insignia, who was last seen at the end of a long campaign when finished 10th in the Australian Guineas. That run was a lot better than it looked on paper, and the rising 4-year-old has returned in good order. His second jump out at Pakenham yesterday was full of merit. He settled well back before finishing full of running, and Royal Insignia's ready to make a strong return. He does come with a proviso, though. Fairly sure he wants dry conditions underfoot, so be careful if he's first up on a wet surface.
In the last 30 seconds, Matty, have you got anything today that you like in Sydney and or Melbourne?
Well, actually, I'm on Goodwood this week, mate. And Goodwood tonight, I've got a double for you.
Yep.
In race 2, number 14, Tabiti, ridden by Ryan Moore. And in race 3, another Ryan Moore ride, number 3, Lady Ironman. So I'll take the double there.
Tabiti into Ironman.
It's Lady Ironman.
Lady Ironman. Tabiti into Lady Ironman. Matty, appreciate your time as always, my friend. Go well over the weekend. Look forward to following a few of those out of your book.
Excellent. Cheers.
Matt Morton there with his 5 to follow. They'll be going up on social media very, very shortly with a couple of graphics, of course, with Dean Watlings. That was trial time. Coming up on the other side of this, Love It or Leave It with Sam Hyland and Mickey Gannon. With Bet365 Top Tote Plus, you get the best part across all 3 national totes. What are you really gambling with? For free confidential support, gamblinghelponline.org.au. Don't forget our Bet Boost horse is Indigo Star. Race number 1 in Sydney. Up until 12, you've got 2 hours. See you soon.
Powered by Signet. Good morning. I'm Nath Gardner with SEN News. The Prime Minister has been accused of lying about Israel withholding aid in Gaza. Anthony Albanese has accused the Netanyahu government of holding back food and other supplies and calling the situation indefensible. Israel says food is being delivered. It comes amid the UK's decision to recognise a Palestinian state. UK PM Keir Starmer says they'll officially announce their position at a UN meeting later this year.
I can confirm the UK will recognise the State of Palestine by the United Nations General Assembly in September unless the Israeli government takes substantive steps to end the appalling situation in Gaza.
A landmark Australian policy aimed at curbing knife violence is said to be showcased before UK lawmakers. Known as Jack's Law, the initiative empowers officers to use handheld metal detectors to search individuals suspected of carrying knives. The law was introduced in memory of Jack Beasley, a teenager tragically killed in a stabbing on the Gold Coast. YouTube will be banned for under 16s from December 10, joining platforms like TikTok and Instagram. Minors will no longer be allowed to create accounts or subscribe, although YouTube Kids and logged out viewing remains permitted. Extreme flooding in China has claimed the lives of at least 30 people in Beijing, and Princess Mary of Denmark has been ushered away from a public event wincing in pain after the Aussie-born royal was stung by a wasp. Up next, SEN Sport. The Power's Jack Lukosius won't face Geelong on Sunday due to a calf issue. The Matildas are optimistic Mary Fowler will be fit to play in next year's Asia Cup. The Aussies have been drawn to face the Korean Republic, Iran and the Philippines in Pool A. And Australia's queen of the pool, Kaylee McEwen, has won gold in the 100-metre backstroke at the World Championships in Singapore.
Join the conversation. Text us on 0499 736 736. Live across Australia on SEN Track. Giddy Up with Gareth Hall. On Giddy Up, it's time to have your say. Are you loving it or leaving it?
Jesus, the show's got its own stinger. The segment's got its own stinger, just onwards and upwards, taking on the world. Miles Pfitzner with you for Love It or Leave It. I'm joined by two of the best in the business. So we'll head north, one of the best value punters going around, and a man that always has an opinion. His name is Sam Holland. Hello to you, Samuel.
Hello, Miles. How are you this morning?
I'm not bad, not bad. We're just trying to work through the midweek racing and looking forward to this and having a chat with you. As we welcome in our other part of Love It or Leave It, and also we'll be jumping in to sit in this chair on Monday and on Tuesday. I speak of one, Mickey Gannon. Hello to you, Mickey G.
Yeah, Miles, Sammy, good to be here. Love it or leave it. Looking forward to another edition of this, and plenty of good topics you've thrown up at us here, Miles. Bit of futures racing theme here.
Well, I'm going to try and get a futures show off the ground in the sort of next few weeks. Have a little 8-week run at it where we can try to shop or try to sort of get ahead of the game a little bit. So I sort of thought, well, we can talk about issues in racing all we want, but let's talk more about the nags. A couple of things before we get stuck in, Sammy, is have you got anything you like today? Sammy, you've had a pretty good week from what they're telling me on SEN Track.
I've had a bit of luck, so it's okay. There's one in the first at Sandown, race 1, number 4, Conscience, for the Moody camp. I reckon it'll be hard to beat. And then race 7, number 8, Trapolander. If you put them together, you get $12, I reckon. So there could be a bit of value. I don't know about that. They put soft 6 up for that track. I bet you it's nowhere near soft 6. So I'd be surprised if it has too much jar out of it, so that's why I've tipped that Trapolander horse, because it's got good track form, and a few of those fancied runners in that race want the jar out of the ground. But last week's meeting at Sandown, they said it had given. It didn't have given it at all. Joke.
Hey, have you seen that text message? There's a fair bit of text messaging going around about one of those horses in the first. Their conscience is the tip's certainly out there, and I think the Brown Dog's actually had the tip for the other horse in that race, Sammy.
Yeah, Brown Dog's. I think he's all about the Stokes runner. Interesting.
Boys,
he can get good mail. He gets good mail, that Brown Dog. I'm telling you.
He certainly does. Hey, we've got a couple that have already come in off the text. We'll get to those in a moment. One about Tentris, and good on you, Rock. Hello to you. We'll get stuck into one of the first questions we've got, and this is love it or leave it. I'll put it to you two. The retirement of Prognosis, and therefore the scratching of Prognosis out of the Cox Plate, significantly changes how the Cox Plate will be run. Are you loving or leaving that, Sam Holland?
I don't know. Was it going to come? I don't know. It's so far away, Miles. With a lot of these races, they're so far away. I find it hard to make comment on things that, knowing horses, how much can change in between. And, it'll be interesting to see what happens with this Cox Plate. We're obviously the King Charles the week before. That's definitely going to affect the race. I'm actually going to the Cox Plate this year, and I thought, I thought it'll be interesting. But I thought it's all going to change after this year, isn't it? When they're going to rip it up and build the new track and rah. So it's. I think it'll be good to go to a Cox Plate and see it for what a race that has fantastic history, and one of my favourite races is the 92 Cox Plate, which we'll never ever see a race like that again, with Group 1 horses jam-packed, and it was just an amazing race that Superimposed comes standing down the outside, and like I say, the whole race was full of Group 1 horses. We don't see Cox Plates like that now. There's a couple in it, but it's never the whole field like that, and like years gone by way back when, and I think now that the track is obviously going to change, and it's a really unique track, and I think it makes the Cox Plate the great race that it is, because of how that track races, and I think it'll be sad that it'll be all changing. So I thought it'd be a good idea to go down and see a Cox Plate. So I think I hope it is a good race, but sadly, I think it's probably it's going to be lacking.
Well, even more so with Prognosis not running. Gatto, back to you. Is the scratching or the retirement of Prognosis going to change the shape of the race significantly?
Yeah, it certainly will. In regards to race shape, we're talking about a horse that was one part of a very fast tempo last time. So that's for sure. Will you see a margin like what we saw last time with speed influences coming out? No, you won't. So Via Sistina, look, she's still got to get there in the back end of spring and do it. We want to see her go around because we have lost a horse that. I wouldn't say put up a fight, got beaten 8 lengths, but still ran second. Via Sistina's race to lose this time around, and Tino's improved. I think it'll still be a great race. You've got this Misho Tabura, who I've got no idea how good it is. Aliana, potential candidate for turning up. We've got no idea how much she'll improve. Treasure of the Moment, they're two horses we talked about. They'll come through and they'll both improve just with simply natural progression, where the others are probably coming back to the field. So, look, I still think it'll be a fantastic race, a fascinating race, as a Cox Plate always is, Miles. And you just never know what they might send over from the UK. You never know if Cornwall are going to send one, or, what Aiden has over there ready to go. And there could be some imports that come over as well. So if VSSN happens to go back to them a little bit, and the others, these younger horses, Aliana, Treasure of the Moment, improve significantly, who knows? But as Sammy said, really looking forward to the race, and looking forward to getting in the valley and checking it out.
Could see the emergence of a 3-year-old too. It looks Via Sistina's at its mercy, but when you take a really good pace horse, and remember, Pride of Jenny's not likely to go there again either, so you take a fair bit of speed out of the race in those two from essentially what they had last year. It does change the shape of it. Hey, I want to talk. Let's move on to the Everest. And speaking of whether a two sort of rising 3-year-old can do any damage, is there a 2/3-year-old that's going to maybe pop up and surprise us leading into the Everest that might rear its head as a contender, Gano? Do you think that the crop are good enough to maybe have a 3-year-old sort of shock us a bit later in the season? Loving that or leaving that?
I'm loving it, but before we go into this one, Miles, just on the Cox Plate, and listeners might be interested in this, I think they're looking at those potential 3-year-olds that you spoke about. Nepotism would probably be the only one that could potentially go to a Cox Plate, just purely off breeding and the way that they are. That its profiles a 2-year-old. It's for mine clearly the best performed 2-year-old. Winning against the pattern, the figures it produced. So if you were looking for horses who could potentially go to Cox Plate as a 3-year-old, Nepotism would be about it. And I'd suggest Caulfield Guineas probably ends up being their target. So anyway, just a bit of a segue into the Everest and the 3-year-olds. It was good surprises. Yeah, look, the 3-year-olds have a decent enough record. We know that. As we spoke about with Gareth last week, Kaiying Rising, it's his race to come here and lose, essentially. He travels well and he comes and wins the race. Yes, it's a long way away. We all know it's on the 18th of October and we're nowhere near that at the moment. So that's neither here nor there. But can a 3-year-old jump out of the ground? My word, they could. Who's it going to be? Well, I'd probably be leaning to a Wadton. You've got to look at horses that are going to get a start. Coolmore got a slot, don't they? So. Yeah. You think this horse would be, at the moment, probably $1.50 favourite to get a start in their slot. Having a look at some of the others, I'm not really sure who Godolphin would go with. I'd imagine a Temptress would be their play. So they seem to be the two, a raging force. I'm not sure whether or not they turn up with that horse, but has plenty of ability. That'd be the three main ones. But a raging force would have to get a slot. And working through the field like we did last week, I'm not sure how many slots are available.
Sammy, what have you made of the sort of two rising 3-year-old crop? And have you seen enough from any of them that would suggest that there might be some horses that are good enough to take on some of the big boys as a 3-year-old?
Not really, I don't think. I think it's again, you're a fair way out, and I don't really know that how that's all going to go. And it's all obviously about Kaiying Rising. That if he turns up fit and well, and all the rest of it. But yeah, I think it's a bit of a funny old race, the Everest, for mine. I don't really take much interest in it, but I'm sure you're not surprised by that.
No, you're the biggest traditionalist I know.
That's right.
But there's nothing wrong with that.
It's a made-up Group 1 for for people that can buy a slot off a wealthy conglomerate or wealthy people that share the prize money. I don't understand it, really. And then everybody says that everyone talks about it. I talk to lots of racing people and no one talks to me about it, so I don't even know. I don't know enough about it.
Yeah, because they know you don't like it. So I don't ask you about the All-Star Mile, Sammy, for good reason.
Another pretend Group 1. But anyway, yeah, I you know what? I'd rather not comment because I don't take any interest in it, really.
All right, well then what we can do is we can comment on the other side of this, though, because let's talk Caulfield Cup and Melbourne Cup. And we'll get on the other side of this. They've also made a bit of a change. Did you see the announcement, the change in the handicap conditions, Sammy, that RV have made here? in Victoria.
Oh yeah, and will that be good? Is that a positive? What they're doing with that?
I'll ask you and Gano on the other side of this, in the Caulfield Cup and the Melbourne Cup. Plenty more to come on Love It or Leave It. It is 10:15 Eastern on Wednesday, the 30th of July.
Join the conversation. Text us on 0499 736 736. Live across Australia on SEN Track. Giddy up with Gareth Hall.
Welcome back to Giddy Up. Miles Pfitzner with you for Love It or Leave It. I'm joined by Sam Hyland and Mickey Gannon down the line. Don't forget you can watch us on YouTube, Facebook. It's all live streamed right around the country, or you can chime in 0499 736 736 if you want to answer some of these questions yourself. The Caulfield Cup and Melbourne Cup we'll move on to, boys. Now, I've already seen a clip this morning of Kylie Rogers saying there's potentially a chance that the internationals that are arriving, maybe one from the States, one from France, one from Japan, and maybe a couple from England. But I want to pose this question to you. The Caulfield Cup and Melbourne Cup winners are currently in Australia. Sammy, are we loving that or are we leaving it?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. It's an interesting one. When you sent these topics through last night, and I was having a look at the markets, and yeah, it's like, this Sir Delius, right? He's $13 favourite for the Caulfield Cup. Is that what it was? I think it was.
I can tell you now. I'll even give it
pretty
to you
sure.
now if you want. He is a second favourite,
$11,
Bet 365. Aliana $8, Sir Delius 11, Treasure the Moment 13, Admire Terra 17, Buckaroo 17, Menia Emperor 17, Shonan Lapanta 17, Will He Do It 17, then out to Amalok, Ghost Rider, Sunrise Earth, Alicants, and the others. So there's a lot of names in there at sort of under the $20 mark that aren't currently here.
It's a big go though, isn't it? I was like, that's Sir Delius. I reckon he's a wet tracker, and the form out of those races, he beat Manzois. Well, Manzois won at the end of the Queensland Carnival, and he hadn't won since Adam was a boy prior to that. So, gee whiz, it's a massive call to think you'd take $13 or $11 about Sir Delius, who's never even performed on a good deck. So I just think it's that whole betting way early in that, I just think especially for these races, we know how they drop off, going into Caulfield and Melbourne Cups, and it's so far out. So I wouldn't like to be, I wouldn't like to be able to bet on anything myself.
Gano,
at this stage,
I tend to agree with that. It's whether or not they're here, or whether or not we've got enough here. Essentially, the question is saying, do we have enough here? Is it good enough here? Or what we're expecting to come, is it going to be better than what we've got? Gano.
There'll be plenty coming over, and I suspect the ones coming over will start favourites in the market once they get here, and that's probably the reason why that they're not, not all of these are currently up the very, very, very top of the market, because they're not here yet. But once they arrive, they will be well supported, and I suggest that the winner of the Melbourne Cup, isn't here yet. I think the winner of the Caulfield Cup may well be Miles, just based on the one run and what's going on there. But I'd say most definitely the Melbourne Cup winner is not in Australia yet.
Yeah, when you go to the Melbourne Cup market with Bet 365, so Scandinavia 11, Sir Delius is $13, which is crazy for the Melbourne Cup. You're right, Sammy. Vauban 13, Al Riffa 15, Via Sistina 15, Admire Terra 17, Aliana 17, Byzantine Dream 17, Deacon 17, Illinois 17, Sober 17, Amilok 21, with El Cordobes, Ethical Diamond, Lazy Grift, River of Stars, Shannon LaPunta, and then out to Absurd. I mean, there's a lot of names in that sort of 25 and under bracket there that aren't here currently. A lot.
Yeah,
Antino. So even going to go there? $26. He's in there. No. Buckaroos, $26. Arapaho, $26. I'm nearly going to boycott the Melbourne Cup this year. I told the boys out the back. I'm just going to go and whatever is, I'll boycott it by just whatever's about $80 to $90, and I'll pick the best $80 to $90 shot in the race. You may as well.
What about last year's winner? Could he come out and back it up? You know, it's
No.
yeah, it's it's interesting, isn't it? Look, you know, yeah, I wouldn't like to be having a bet now.
Well, I just had a text come through, but the Coolmore 3-year-old Scandinavia was apparently super impressive. That won the Goodwood Cup last night, beating the older horses, and that's in from Matty Morton. So that is your current favourite for the Melbourne Cup with Bet365 at $11. Won the Goodwood Cup last night for Coolmore.
Has he had the scans yet? Has he had all the scans done?
Yeah, well, he's
yet?
got to go through all that.
Yeah, there's a lot of hoops to jump through before you get to the big one. You know.
Well, this is where look, I've seen that clip of Kylie Rogers this morning, and she's saying if everything goes to plan, you know, we're going to have 5 different countries representing in. Well, there's a hell of a lot of water to go under the bridge. I mean, they've got to go to Werribee, and the way the vets are, it's getting harder and harder to get horses up because we're trying our best to really make it look better, but is it making a difference?
It's making it weaker anyway. It's
it's certainly done that. Certainly done affected the
Was
quality
it Jan
of the race.
Bruegel that came out and has raced quite well since being knocked back?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been a winner. He's been a winner. Yeah.
So
Anyway, let's keep it positive.
I think he won at
it'll be a
Epsom.
great Melbourne Cup.
Hey, I think it will be, but yeah, won't be getting any of my money. That's for sure. Hey, last one, we were talking overseas just a little bit before we maybe change it. Asfora is over to defend his crown this weekend. Can he go back to back, Sammy?
She. I don't know if I don't know if she'll be good enough myself. I think she got away with one last year. She's a year older, and I don't think going as well, in my opinion. So pretty different track. Goodwood. It's pretty odd. So how will she go with that? Yeah, who knows? It's hope all goes well. But yeah, I think she'll be up against it. I mean, Miles. She wasn't really a superstar here, was she? You know.
No.
Yeah, she wasn't she wasn't a superstar here, but she's come up $2.70 in the King George Qatar. $2.70. Big Mojo $5.50. Time for Sandals $6. Frost at Dawn $6. Bet365. It's a crazy price. I mean,
more importantly for us at home, what time is that race? We want to watch that.
1:30, I think. I'm pretty sure it's 1:30 or something like that. I got up last night,
a bit late for me,
and watched it, and and I didn't go to bed till. Well, then I started watching Galway. So, look, when Fitnickers came downstairs and said, "What on earth are you doing?" and I said, "I'm watching the races," and she goes, "Are you serious?" Like. She goes, you're watching them, you're listening to them, you're punting on them. What is wrong with you? And I said, I know. So that's when I went back up to bed. I got into bed again. So it's good fun, though. I love it. It's good watching. Goodwood.
Absolutely.
Really good.
Gano, your thoughts on Asfora before we jump to the break, and we'll come back on the other side?
Yeah, look, at her best, she could definitely win the race, but whether she's there or not is the real query. I'd be more than happy to take her on at the $2.70.
Was a bit cheeky, though, last year, receiving an email saying that they weren't good enough to be there pre-race. Thought that was a bit cheeky. Do you remember that?
I do remember that. Do you reckon they might send that again?
It's just
do you reckon?
Double down?
Like, I love that when Henry he got the email, Sammy, saying, essentially you're an embarrassment. Bang, bang. Before the race.
I find the banter at all, Miles. We saw the banter between Paps and Tobes and in the AFL, there should be more of it. A bit of banter goes a long way. Just maybe we shouldn't take things so personally.
Well,
don't they get sensitive when you start saying tell horse trainers their horse is not good enough.
And then if the horse wins, it's great. Well, it's even better.
The owners can certainly get sensitive when you tell an owner that their horse is not likely to win any other races again. I think I've learnt that firsthand. Hey, what we might do is go to the news. We'll come back on the other side of this. Plenty more to come.
by Signet, making SEN News headlines. A landmark Australian policy, Jack's Law, aimed at curbing knife violence, is set to be showcased before UK lawmakers. Australia has signed onto a new statement with 14 other countries urging the rest of the world to consider recognising a Palestinian state. A tsunami watch has been issued for Hawaii after a magnitude 8 earthquake struck off the coast of Russia. And Australian athletes who took part in the 1980 Moscow Olympics are now being recognised by the federal government. Coming up next, sen.com.au sport. The Power's Jack Lukosius won't face Geelong on Sunday due to a calf issue. The Matildas are optimistic Mary Fowler will be fit to play in next year's Asia Cup. The Aussies have been drawn to face the Korean Republic, Iran and the Philippines in Pool A. And Australia's Queen of the Pool, Kaylee McEwen, has won gold in the 100-metre backstroke at the World Championships in Singapore.
Join the conversation. Text us on 0499 736 736. Live across Australia on SEN Track. Giddy up with Gareth Hall.
Welcome back to Giddy Up. This is Love It or Leave It, all thanks to Bet365. With Bet365 Top Tote Plus, you get the best payout across all three national totes. Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. Our Bet Boost horse is Indigo Star, Warwick Farm Race 1, number 2, 280 up to 350, and it's 350 available until 12 o'clock. And I know, Gano, you were very, very keen on Indigo Star, as was Dino.
Certainly was. I think it gets the job done. Looking forward to it, mate. Hopefully not too much rain around. Looking at this radar, though.
Ooh. Now, we had a couple of text messages come in. Brado, we've taken it on board. Gano's trying to buy horses at the moment. So the mouse was clicking.
Shout out to Brado for the mouse was clicking and knowing it was mine.
The mouse was going mad.
Miles and Sammy is not using it.
Yeah.
Sorry, boys.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Hey, I want to ask you a couple of questions here. I want to talk about the jockey and trainers premierships and whatnot, but one of them I raised with you guys last night. I had a chat to Pikey earlier on in the week, and I said to him, you're about to win your 8th Australian jockey's title, like a jockey's premiership. And I asked him, I said, do you get anything for it? And he said, mate, no, not that I know of. Well, should there be an award or some sort of recognition for either A, the most amount of wins by any jockey in the country, irrespective of where for the season? Should it be Metro wins, or should it be done on Group 1? Sammy, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, you would have thought that there would be something when you win a premiership, but I suppose you just it's just satisfaction, and you're the best in that jurisdiction for the year. As far as bringing everybody together and making it a thing, it's hard to get everyone to get together, isn't it? So I would think that's means one ever happening, but it's a well done to all that have and there's obviously a premiership still going up here in Queensland today that is pretty tight with Ange Jones and Emily Lang, and it creates a bit of interest at an off time of the year, I would say, and people that are very passionate about racing take an interest in this sort of stuff, and as for the jockeys, it's a big thing to win a premiership. I know I'm as proud as punch with my Traralgon premiership, Miles.
Yeah, well, I would be too. Yeah, I haven't ridden since I was 13, so there's no premierships coming my way.
I'm saying that sarcastically, but no, it is. I think it's a big thing, and it would be a great thing, wouldn't it? If we celebrated the best jockey and the best trainer in the country.
I don't understand why. Like on Racing Australia, there's a whole section for the Australian Jockey Premiership. So Pikey leads at 167.5, Shin second at 159, CJP at 140, Lucy Fiore 138.5, Tash Faithful 134, Chris Parnham 131. Now, it is that we do have we got 5 WA jockeys in the top 6 or 7. Which is in the overall, of course. The strike rates of the guys here is unbelievable. I mean, J-Mac rode 100 winners at 24.1 strike rate. Pikey rode 167.5 at 24.1 strike rate. But if you just go to Metro, I mean, Pikey's just pipped J-Mac 106.5 to J-Mac 101. They were all done in the Metropolitan. Brad Parnham, Blake Shin, Jason Collette, CJP, Craig Williams, Lucy Fiore, Timmy Clark, Anthony Darmanin. But I don't understand why you would count them and have a list if you're not going to have an award, Mickey Gannon.
It just can't be that hard. Get a corporate sponsor on board. You give them a car or something for the year, for their travels. How hard could it be, Miles?
To do like the AFL do to get 10,000 or 100,000 velocity frequent fly points or whatever it is.
Sure.
Yep.
Whatever it is, give them it just couldn't be that hard to organise, to be quite frank, and to get the leading jockey from each state and nationally, and then the leading Group 1 jockey to an event on a Tuesday in August also shouldn't be that hard, Miles, because you can just get them on buy a plane ticket for them and send them over. They don't need business class; they're only short. And so it won't cost you too much. And away you go. Put a nice little event on. Now, speaking
from you, Gunnar. Cheeky from you.
Yeah, not bad. Traralgon, your premiership, Sammy. If my memory serves me correct, I think I won a Traralgon Pro-Am. So maybe what we can do is get like a Proven Summon trophy, you and I, and just give it to the Traralgon winner next time. It'll be something for the battlers.
I'll tell you what, there's a sentence that would never have been heard before. The leading jockey and leading golfer at Traralgon. Unbelievable. On the radio at the same time.
Oh, dear.
Hey, so why is it
unrivaled?
These premierships, and especially today, Sammy, this battle between Angela Jones and Emily Lang, I think Racing Queensland, they put a little video up. It looked pretty good, and they're trying to promote it, and it's going to be good viewing today. But the ability to bet on it, it's not as that doesn't get promoted very, very much. I think it should be a lot easier. They've got their jockey challenge there today at Doomben. Pugs $2.15, Angela Jones $2.70, Emily Lang's $5.50. But why can't you? I'm trying to find where I can bet on the overall premiership here, and I don't think I can.
Yeah, you can. There are
they there somewhere?
Available for quite some time. Yeah, it just depends on what bookmaker you're using, mate. Not all of them offer those markets, but I can see plenty available, and I think it's great. And you've been able to bet on them for ages.
Yeah, I'm more likely to have a bet at the end on a jockey premiership than I certainly am on a lot of other things that they push quite regularly.
Odds and evens.
Oh,
I think. Miles, I think it's
that was good. Odds and evens was good.
Especially when they say an odds 1 and 4. I mean, yeah, please turn it up. But what I think we need to do is continue to make stars of our jockeys. They are the horses, of course, are the horses, and they'll always be the superstars. But the jockeys are ones out there doing their thing, and the more we can make stars of our athletes, the better the game will be, the more personable these jockeys are to the public, the better our game will be. So why not put them up in lights? Why not give them what they deserve? And, it's good on Racing Queensland to do what they've done with Angela and Emily, and we should continue to push that, Miles, and any opportunity we have.
Yeah, I found it absolutely fascinating there was no award for why they would count it or why they would bother counting it if you're not going to present. Pikey's
it was interesting.
Yeah.
It was interesting how they marketed
Send him a meat
that,
tray. He'd be happy with that.
Sammy?
Yeah, meat trade. Well, it's a start. It's a start. I mean, everyone's happy with the meat trade, but it was interesting to how they put that up on socials with Ange Jones and Emily Lang with boxing gloves on because, it was only a couple of months ago Noel Callow was getting in trouble for boxing on with Ange Jones's fiance and Kyle Wilson-Taylor. So, yeah, maybe it wasn't that bad what Callow and KWT did, having a box on. Maybe it wasn't that bad after all.
When I originally saw it, that video, I thought it was them racing Queensland taking the PI55 out of the Callow KWT fight. That's what I thought it was originally. I didn't click that it was the two that were battling it out for the premiership. But yeah, very, very funny. I didn't mind it.
Shout out to Ant Callow. He's back in Darwin today. He starts his career again in Darwin after that little hiccup. So hopefully it goes well, and hope everybody has a bet at Darwin. It's going to be we're going to be there on the weekend, Miles, and it's going to be good.
It certainly is. We've had I had Gary Clark on yesterday. I've had Roble today. I think we're going to try to get a couple again on Friday, maybe Hickmott, Chloe Baxter and Mannings. We're trying to do a bit of a sort of a run through the Darwin Cup fields, but that's one meeting to go to. Gano, have you been to a Darwin Cup?
No, not yet. I was planning on going up this year. Actually, I thought I might pop up there for a bit of a day, one day sort of set up in and out. FIFO, I think they call that. But now I'm hosting the show for you. So
you are too. I was going to say we could have top and tailed if you wanted to. You wouldn't be the first one.
Wow. There's no good thing that Miles will get back to his room. Don't worry. He has been known to run off the track a little bit.
Yeah, not this year. I've matured.
Blinkers on this year, Miles. Blinkers on.
Hey, we're going to take a break. We'll come back with plenty more. Love it or leave it. Sam Hyland, Mickey Gunn and Miles Pfitzner back on the other side of this.
Join the conversation. Text us on 0499 736 736. Live across Australia on SEN Track. Giddy Up with Gareth Hall.
Welcome back. Getting up, Miles Pfitzner filling in for Gareth Hall. Thanks to Bet365. Top Tote Plus, you get the best part across all three national totes. Imagine what you could be buying instead. Love it or leave it. One without notice here, boys. I had Will Friedman on yesterday. He's a good man, Willie. Always up for a chat. He had a suggestion about the track ratings, and we've talked tracks to death. And Sammy, I know you've voiced your opinions about meetings called off and whatnot, but with the ratings in general, I know you used to walk the tracks as well. His suggestion was that if someone was designated to ride, or therefore it was put up as an opinion that the track was ridden. I know some tracks do it, but if the track was ridden and someone's opinion was put up in regards to what they felt that track was after they've ridden it and walked it, as to whether or not that might have been a better way rather than having a sort of a definitive bang, this is the track rating, because they don't seem to be getting, and this is not on all clubs, the track managers have got it tough enough, but they don't seem to be getting this track rating right at the start of meetings, and as opposed to where they end up or which way the track is going. Sammy?
It's a very tricky one. Everyone's got an opinion on this, and they're all different. And then that comes back to with track ratings. It's everyone has a different opinion. The person that gallops, I mean, that's been going on again since Adam was a boy. Horses galloping. I don't know what they do in Sydney, but at a lot of our metropolitan tracks and at a lot of the tracks around Victoria, they have a gallop. I know Warrnambool do it nearly every meeting. Prior to every meeting, a horse gallops on the track the morning of the race. And I know that because I did the track walker job for 5 years for Racing Victoria. And I can tell you, Miles, that even back then, I would give my opinion, the stewards would give their opinion, the jockeys would give their opinion, the trainers would give their opinion. I mean, what Mick Kent thinks is a good track is a soft track to others, and that's where the problem comes to hand. So there's no solution to it because, as I say, everybody comes up with something different. Now, the carry on and drama between track managers and then jockeys and then owners and trainers and whatever. It's just one of those things. You just want it to. Yeah, I can understand. You want it to be as close to the rating as it can possibly be. But I think nowadays it's a dead set raffle. Like I just said about Sandown last time, I mean, it was they said it had jar in it. Well, it didn't have jar in it at all. They were running good times, and that's what the stewards basically go on times. And stewards, I'm not sure if they still go out, and they used to drive the car around the track and get out at certain points and have a look. But back in the day, they used to walk tracks, and it's everybody's got a different opinion, and that's why. That's why it can be as confusing as it is, and like I can understand what Will Friedman's saying. He wants wants a solution to try and get as close to the rating as they possibly can, but it's because it's people all differ, don't they? So that's why it's confusing.
Gano, your quick thoughts here before I let the two of you go.
Yeah, I would have had a deeper view on it, but I think given the time restrictions, I think we'll say is that just because it's a good 4 in one spot doesn't mean it's not a soft 6 in another, and I think that's a bit of an issue. So more often than not, and you heard it yesterday on the broadcast at a track where they suggested that the last 200 metres was 2 rating points different, and you see it all the time. So you've just got to be you've got penetrometer, you've got shear, you've got track ratings, chuck a horse over it, get someone to walk the track, get some feedback, work it out. And yes, times do dictate that. But you saw on Saturday at Rose Hill where everyone wanted to tell you it was a heavy 8 and it stayed a soft 6. So it can't be that hard to work out, Miles. Will's on the mark. We need to know what the tracks are for punters. punters need to be able to bet with confidence. And if it's a heavy 8 at the back straight and a soft 6 in the straight, just tell us.
Yep, and I agree with both of you. Now, I've got to let both of you go. I appreciate your time wholeheartedly this morning, and hopefully chat to you again in the week or coming next couple of weeks. But appreciate your time this morning, boys.
Good luck up there.
On your
mates.
mark.
All the best.
On you, Sammy. On you, Mickey Gannon there. You raise a valid point. I've had a couple of track managers reach out to me during the week saying that we'd love to be able to say which way the track is going, down and or up, and add that to a rating system. So they'll remain nameless, though, but good fellas all in all. Hey, we're going to go to our last break. Be back to wrap the show on the other side.
Join the conversation. Text us on 0499 736 736. Live across Australia on SEN Track. Giddy Up with Gareth Hall.
Wow. Welcome back. If you weren't awake, you are now. That's about all we've got time for today. Don't forget, if you missed any of the show, you can catch it at your local podcast service. Just search Giddy Up with Gareth Hall. It was good to chat to the boys this morning. Massive edition coming up tomorrow, 8 a.m, Stable Mail. We'll have all the leading trainers as we'll look towards the weekend of racing, and we'll get their $100 staking plans off of all of them. Don't forget, our Bet Boost horse of the day is race 1, number 2, Indigo Star. That's $260 up to $350, available on Bet365 up until midday. And you'll get the best paid across all 3 national totes anyway. Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. Join me tomorrow from 8 a.m. for a big edition of Giddy Up with Gareth Hall.